Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. This is the fifth part of our online class series. In the last class, we had discussed about some of the physical properties and their periodicity observed in the periodic table. Various trends we had seen across the period and down the group. In this class, we shall further continue our topic, and followed by that, we shall cover the in-text question exercise 2. We shall discuss the question answers. Let us have a look at the physical properties as they are mentioned in the book. Although in the official syllabus these topics are not mentioned, you can find the syllabus in the beginning of the chapter. These topics are already although not mentioned there, but they still, as they have been given as a part of the chapter, we shall be discussing it here. We will not be going into much deeper details of these topics as these are not that much important, but you are expected to at least memorize these facts without going into much deeper details. Let us begin there. First is melting point and the boiling point. With regard to the melting and boiling point across the period, there is a trend observed, that is, it increases up to group 14 and then decreases. As you go up to group 14, the melting point is increasing, but afterwards it will decrease as you move right towards the end of the periodic table, towards the group number 18. So across the period, melting point and boiling point increase and then decrease. Down the group, two types of trends are observed. One is with regard to metals, that is decrease down the group. There is a decrease as you go down the group. Metallic character is increasing. Because of that only, metallic character is increasing means the elements are able to lose the electrons easily. Ultimately, what is happening there? Metal can easily melt or boil. Just opposite, the non-metals. The non-metals boiling point and the melting point increases down the group. With regard to the density here, what is actually density? Density, the formula is called as mass per unit volume. Mass per unit volume. So whenever we are observing density in the periodic table, two factors are counted there. One is mass, and second thing is volume of the atom. Atomic mass, as we know, as we are going down the group, atomic mass is increasing. On the other side, volume is also increasing because the number of shells are added. But as we compare both of these factors, the factor of atomic mass is more important, or it overrides the effect of volume. Atomic mass considerably increases in larger amount as compared to the volume. That is why what we will say here, down the group, the atomic density is increasing. With regard to the across the period trend, it first increases and then decreases. Just for a quick reference, I have taken these tables from your textbook. The table shows or mentions the trends observed. The temperatures of the melting and boiling points are shown there. You can quickly see here down the group. With regard to the metal, the melting and boiling points are decreasing. With regard to the non-metals, they are increasing. The next table here, across the period, you can see here, observe the melting point is shown there of the elements of third period. You can clearly see that it is first increasing and then it decreases. There are certain exceptions, but we don't have to go into details. The next is density. Density down the group, you can observe that it is increasing across the period. First it is increasing, then suddenly it decreases. That's all. This table is only for reference, no need to memorize this, just for understanding it properly. That's all for the physical properties, melting point, boiling point and density. To the question answers now of the chapter 1 exercise in text, second part. First question is, what do you understand by the atomic size? State its unit. The definition already we have seen in the chapter. It is the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost shell. The unit you can note down, it is angstrom or picometers. The second question, give the trends of atomic size down the group and across the period. So as you already discussed in class, atomic radius increases down the group and decreases as you go left to right in the particular period. Fastly moving. If you need to note down, you can pause the video. Question 3. Arrange the elements of second and third period in increasing order of the atomic size. You can see the elements in the periodic table of the elements of the second and third group in the periodic table. You can see, and you have to solve this question by yourself, observing the trends that as I have written in the question number 2 solution. These trends you can follow and apply that knowledge to elements of second and third period. Try to solve it yourself. Question number 4. Why is the size of first part neon greater than that of fluorine? This is an exception to the atomic radius. Neon being an inert gas and halogen is and fluorine being a halogen. So what kind of exception is there? That is, neon is bigger compared to fluorine. Why it is bigger? Because neon is having a complete octet. It is having 8 electrons in the outermost shell. As a result of which, what will happen? Effect of nuclear pull over the valence electrons cannot be seen. That is why neon become bigger than fluorine. Question number second part of question 4, second part is sodium is greater than magnesium. Why is it so? Because sodium and magnesium both are having different number of protons, or atomic number is different for both. Sodium is having 11 atomic number, that is it is having 11 protons, and magnesium is having atomic number 12, that is it has 12 protons. So the answer, you can see, atomic number of magnesium is more than that of sodium. That is why what will happen? The nuclear pull will be more, because magnesium is having more number of proton. That is why the nuclear pull will be more. Its nucleus is more effective because of more number of positive charge. As a result, what will happen? Magnesium will become smaller. It will attract, magnesium having more positive charge will attract the electrons more close to the center of the atom. Question number 5. Which is greater in size? This is also an exception. Atom or cation? So always you have to see atom is always bigger than cation, because what is the answer? That is because cation is formed by the loss of electron. Cation is positive ion. It is having plus charge. So because it is cation is formed by loss of electron, what will happen? Protons will be more than electrons. As a result, electrons are strongly attracted by the nucleus. I have explained you this in the class with the help of sodium example. Sodium converts to sodium plus ion by the loss of one electron. Sodium was having 11 electrons, but by loss of one electron it has only 10 electrons. But still it is having this ion, still it is having 11 protons. So 11 protons have to control or manage 10 electrons. That is why the electrons will come more close to the center of the nucleus. Second part, an atom or an anion, which is bigger? So in this case, anion being a negative charged particle, that is why what will happen? The anion will become bigger because it is formed by the gain of the electrons. Gain means profit, it is accepting electrons. Because it is accepting the electrons, that is why what will happen? Number of electrons become more than the protons, and there will be less inward pull from the nucleus, and the size of the anion will be bigger than that of the normal atom. Third part now, question number third part, Fe2 plus is bigger than Fe3 plus. Now Fe means iron symbol is Fe. So Fe2 plus is a positive ion of iron only, and Fe3 plus is another positive ion. Iron is having variable valency, it has valency 2 as well as 3. If it is having 2 valency, it is called ferrous ion. If it is having 3 plus valency, it is called ferric ion. Now in case of Fe2 plus, that means this is formed by losing 2 electrons. Normal iron atom has lost 2 electrons here and formed Fe2 plus. In case of Fe3 plus, it is formed by loss of 3 electrons. So which one has lost more electrons? Obviously it is Fe3 plus. Fe3 plus is formed by loss of more electrons compared to Fe2 plus. Then what I have written in the answer, let us see there. So what is written there? Fe2 plus has more number of electrons. Obviously it has one extra electron compared to Fe3 plus, and hence what will be happening there? Inner pull by the nucleus will be less strong, because Fe2 plus is having more electrons. Its nucleus will be less effective as compared to Fe3 plus. As a result, Fe2 plus is bigger than Fe3 plus. Question 6, you have to arrange an increasing metallic character. These elements are given there. These are our elements taken from a period number 2. In the first part, they have taken from the period number 2. So across the period, what is happening? The metallic character, as you go from left to side, the metallic character decreases. So here I have arranged the elements in increasing metallic character. So the extreme right of the periodic table, that is fluorine, that will be least metallic, and lithium will be most metallic. The trend you can observe. The next one is decreasing metallic character. Non-metallic character. Decreasing non-metallic character is just non-metallic character is decreasing from right towards the left. In the right of the periodic table, the non-metallic character is maximum. So as they are asking for decreasing, so the rightmost of these element is chlorine, that is from group 17, then sulfur from group 16, and so on. Sodium is from group number 1, so that is why it is metallic. Question number 7 now. State the trends in chemical reactivity. Chemical reactivity, what is happening? Just the trend you have to note down. The chemical reactivity first decreases and then increases across the period. Across the group, down the group, what is happening? It increases down the group. Chemical reactivity is increasing because the atoms are becoming bigger and bigger due to the addition of number of shells. As a result, they can lose the electrons more easily. Question number 8 now. This is an application based question. A metal M forms an oxide having the formula M2O3. It belongs to the third period. Period number they have given. Write the atomic number and the valency. They are asking the atomic number as well as the valency. Quickly just have a look at the formula. The question is hidden. Yes, quickly let us look at the formula there. M2O3. M2O3. How to calculate the formula? That method is by transposing. So if we again take these numbers back, then M will have 3 upside and O will have 2. That means oxygen is having valency 2, and this metal M, whatever M we don't know, this metal M is having valency 3. So the valency, the one part of the question I have solved, that is valency is 3. Now atomic number we have to write. How to write the atomic number? For that, one clue is given there, third period. If the period number is given, period number shows us the number of shells. Remember the earlier classes, the period number shows us the number of shells. So because third period it is written there in the question, that means this particular element M will have how many shells? It will have 3 shells. It is obvious because it is in third period, it will have 3 shells, that is KLM, and valency is 3. That means outermost electron are 3 in number, then inner we can easily fill. That is, this becomes the electronic configuration, and add these numbers, what you will get? 2 plus 8 plus 3, that is 13. That is the atomic number. So that is how we can calculate. The full answer is written there, you can note down. Question number 9. An element X belongs to the third period, that is the number of shells also, and 17th group. It belongs to the period third and group 17. What you have to tell is number of valence electrons. One by one we'll see number of valence electrons. So how we can find out? They have told 17th group. 17 group elements are having how many valence electrons? They are having 7 valence electrons. Next one, name of the element. You have to tell the name of the element. Now in the 17th group, which elements are there? That is why you have to learn the group wise elements. First one is chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. So this every group is from the second period here, not from the first period, except from the group number 1 and group number 18. All other groups, that is group number 2, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, all these groups will start from second period only. So fluorine is in second period and chlorine is in third period. So this is what they have given in the question, third period and 17 groups. Third period and 17 group is chlorine. Next, name of the family to which it belongs. So 17 group, what is the name? That is called halogen family. Next, question number 4. Write the formula of the compound when it reacts with this particular element. Element mass number is 27 and atomic number is 13. Let us see the solution here. Now, if the atomic number is 13, the 13 atomic number is for aluminium. You have to remember the atomic numbers of the element from 1 to 20. Up to this only will be asked in the board's exam. Up to atomic number 20 only questions will be there. So minimum up to 20 you have to learn each and every element with the atomic number. So atomic number 13 is aluminium. That is why, being atomic number 13, we can write the valency easily. It is having valency 3. So aluminium having valency 3, chlorine having valency 1. Transpose this, what you will get? You will get Al Cl3. This 3 will move this side here and 1 will move this side. Let us look at the question number 10. The given table shows elements with same number of electrons in the valence shell. State whether these elements belong to the same group or period. In the first part, they have asked whether the elements are of the same group or of the same period. And what they have told us that they have equal number of valence electrons. So if valence electrons are same, then the elements will be of the same group. Second part now, arrange them in order of increasing metallic character. Here, the elements have been given in the elements and their melting point have been given, and we have to arrange them in increasing order of metallic character. So first of all, we will arrange the melting point. The elements will arrange in order of melting point. Based on that, we will find out which element will be having what amount of metallic character. Let us see the answer. Here it is. The melting point decreases on going down the group. That is why I have arranged this in the table. As we go down the group, the melting point decreases because the atomic size is increasing. Melting point decrease down the group. And another trend we remember that the metallic character increases down the group. That means according to the melting point, this should be the order of the group: B followed by C and A at the bottom of the group. That means what will happen now? The most metallic element among this will be A and least metallic will be B. So the increasing order comes as B less than C less than A. Coming to question number 11. Which one has the largest atomic radius? Now here 4 options are given. Which element has largest atomic radius? Sodium, potassium, magnesium, aluminium. Now for atomic radius in the periodic table, as we move from left to right, the atomic radius decreases. There is decrease in the atomic radius. As we go downwards, it increases. This is the trend. We have to remember that. Now let us place these elements. Sodium, that is in the group number 1. Below that only is potassium. In the period of sodium, that is period number 2. Next to sodium comes magnesium, followed by aluminium. These are the 4 elements given in our question. So these are of group number 1, sodium and potassium, group number 2, magnesium, and group number 13, aluminium. Similarly, period 2nd is all these 3: sodium, magnesium, aluminium, and period 3 is potassium. Now what is the trend of atomic size? It increases down the group and decreases as we move from left to right. So that means aluminium will have minimum size or minimum atomic radius, and potassium will have, because it is downwards. As we compare all these 4, the bottom one is potassium here. That means our answer is potassium. It is having the largest atomic radius. Question number 12 now. Here also related to atomic size. Which one has largest atomic size? Bromine, iodine, iodide ion. There I minus is there. That is an anion, iodide ion. And fourth option is chlorine. So these are all from halogen. That is chlorine, bromine, and iodine. As we move downwards, atomic size is increasing. That means iodine should be the largest one out of these normal atoms. But if we compare iodine and iodide ion, now this ion has 1 electron less and anions are bigger. That is an exception in atomic radius. Anions are bigger than the normal atoms. That is why answer will be iodide. Question 13. The metals of group 2 are given there. Which one of these elements will form ions most readily and why? And we have to tell in second part common feature in their electronic configuration. Let us see the answer. Among all these elements of group number 2, the barium will form the ions most readily. Why it is so? Because barium is at the bottom of the 2nd group. That is why it will have least force of attraction, because the outermost electrons are very far away from the nucleus. That is why answer is barium. Second question they have asked here is one common property. So all the group 2nd elements have 2 valence electrons. All these elements are having 2 valence electrons, or all are having valency 2. Question 14 now. Here two elements are given with their symbol, and we have to write the number of proton, neutrons and their electronic configuration. Also state their position in the periodic table. So that is simple question only. Just by the symbol itself you can recognize. See, first one is 39, that is mass number. Down one, the bottom one is 19, that is atomic number or number of protons. So this is 19 is the number of protons. This is the atomic number. And if we subtract the mass number and atomic number, then we will get the number of neutrons. Configuration accordingly you can deduce from the atomic number. Now group number is 1. Why it is 1? Because it is having 1 valence electron. Period number is 4 because 4 valence shell are there. 2881 is there. So 4 shells are there of electrons. That is why it is 4th period. Similarly, it can be done for phosphorus also. Question 15 now. The electronic configuration of an element is 2881. What is the group number? So again, group number they are asking. Group number is what? Group number is the number of valence electron. So group number is 1. What is the period number? How many shells are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shells are there. So period number is 4. How many valence electron? Which is the last number of electron is 1. So valence electron is 1. What is the valency of T? Whatever is the valence electron becomes the valency. So valency is 1. Is it in metal or non-metal? Now in group number 1, all the metals are there. In fact, they are alkali metal. Answer is metal. I hope it is clear. Here the solutions are written. Question 16 is for you to solve. They have given an element, barium, atomic number is written, and look in the periodic table and answer the questions. I hope you can solve this by yourself. Question 17. In this, they have given us the ionic radius of the ions of the atoms. This is given in angstrom. This is the symbol of angstrom. So giving a reason, arrange them in order of atomic number. So again we have to write these ions in increasing order of ionic radius. The atom or ion name they have not given, XYZ they have given instead. So now answer, since the size of atom increases down the group, the ionic radii also will increase. As you move down the group, the size of the ion will also increase. Hence, based on these numbers, we can find out the increasing order. Coming to question number 20, complete the following sentence by choosing the correct one. So these fill-ups, you can note it down. Question 21st, first part, give reasons for the following. The size of chloride ion is greater than that of chlorine atom. Again the same question, similar concept we have already discussed. An ion is more greater in size than that of the normal atom. Similar reason is written that you can read through. This here only for reference I have given. If you want, you can include this in the answer. 21st second part, argon atom is bigger than chlorine atom. Here another similar question we had for neon as well. So same answer you can write down, or you can read through this answer. I don't want to repeat the same concept to explain again. Question 21 third, this is actually related to our next upcoming topic, ionization potential, that we will be discussing in the next class itself. So presently just you can note down the answer. I will be explaining in the upcoming, the next video will be for ionization potential only. The fourth part, inert gases do not form ions. So why do the inert gases do not form ions? That is simple reason, because inert gas are having their octet complete, and therefore they do not need to gain, lose or share electron. Their outermost electron, the valence shell is full of electron. There is no need to lose, gain or share electrons. That is why they do not form any ions. That's all for today's class. The question answers are over. I hope you understood the concepts well. Thank you. That's all for today's class. The question answers are over. I hope you understood the concepts well. Thank you.